Good afternoon, Boulder Rotary. I got an extra loud thump on that thing today. I don't know if you guys heard that or not. Deborah Kelly, can you please lead us in the pledge and the four-way test?
I'd be happy to. Welcome, everybody, and please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now, we can continue with our four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you.
Thank you. So welcome to Boulder Rotary. This is the best place to be on a Friday afternoon, whether you're here in the room with us or you're on Zoom, where there are about 12 to 20 people, I think, joining us at this point. Just one quick announcement before we get into the meeting today. Rotary International, as some of you may know, a few years ago started a diversity, equity, and inclusion initiative. And I just wanted to read a bit of what they sent me this week. I don't know who all received this, but I did receive some information from Rotary International that I wanted to share. What we say and how we behave matters. Although free expression is important, we must take responsibility for how our words, our actions may impact others. This is why the Rotary International Board approved a new DEI Code of Conduct that reflects our core values. It provides a supportive framework for how Rotary members can create and maintain an environment that is collaborative, positive, and healthy for everyone. Simply put, the DEI Code of Conduct asks every one of our members to use respectful language, to be supportive, to foster a welcoming and inclusive environment, and to celebrate diversity. So, along those lines, if everyone could, wait. Oh, Bill Anderson, your lights are on. While everyone is, while he's checking his car, if you could take out your raffle tickets. The winner is 725216. We have a winner. Congratulations, Ruth. To the scholarship fund? Yes, thank you so much for your generosity. I see Deborah is back there, so I'm going to have her and TK come up here in a second and do the Paul Harris Fellowship Awards. But to give her some time, I'm going to have actually Marty come up real quick if she can and give us a little bit of more information on the Service Above Self dinner, which will be held on May the 6th.
Well, I hate to say, Chad, you just took the punchline. I was just going to say, if you all are feeling kind of lonely and deprived of fellowship and time to get out and have fun with all your friends and Rotary and guests and others, we've got a deal for you. Show up on Friday, May 6th, Boulder Country Club, and that's the time that we'll be celebrating our award recipients for the Service Above Self Award. It's the inaugural year, and you'll want to be there, or say, or be square. What you need to do is probably consider buying a ticket, consider buying a table, or if that doesn't appeal to you, how about sponsoring? But we'd love to see you there, so put it on the calendar. May 6th, Friday, the first of, we hope, many Service Award celebrations. Thank you.
Thanks, Marty. I just realized that we didn't introduce today's guests and visitors. So let's do that. Jancy Campbell.
Thank you. Do we have any visiting Rotarians here today?
Thank you, Yancy. It's my great privilege and honor to introduce Kevin Brainey. Kevin is a great peer friend of mine. We work together in Mental Health Partners. Kevin was a previous principal at Westminster High, a principal at Boulder High, and he led a lot of our training and development and leadership at Mental Health Partners, and now he's in private practice and doing consulting work just like I am. And he was a member of the Breakfast Club in Westminster, and he's interested in thinking about joining our club.
Thank you. And will all other guests and visitors stand?
Just want to introduce my wife, Margot, to her first Rotary meeting.
Yes. Pardon me?
We're very obedient, so we stay.
Of course. Would you?
Yeah,
Yes.
it is. I'm going to introduce them later, but it's my
Right, you just said you.
it's my great privilege to welcome Helen and Nick Forster to today's meeting.
We're honored to be here. Thank
Yeah.
you for having us.
Okay, anyone else? Thanks.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Jancy. Alrighty, I would like to welcome our guests who are joining us online via Zoom. If you would like to unmute yourself and say hi when I call on you. I think we have past President Dominica in Jamaica. Would you like to say hi, Dominica?
Good afternoon to you all once again. I look forward to visiting your club on a Friday afternoon. Thank you for having me again.
Thank you. Thank you for always joining us. We also have Stu Dolnick. Would you like to say hi, Steve? Stu? Okay. We have Chuck in Florida. Would you like to say hi, Chuck?
Hello from Seminole, Florida. Great to be with you guys again.
Appreciate it. Glad you could join us. And then lastly, we have Linda, and I believe she's a friend of Nancy Chin Wagner.
Hello, my name is Linda, and Nancy invited me to visit your Boulder Rotary today, and I had to come in on Zoom, but I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and enjoy the program.
Thank you, Vanessa. Welcome, everyone, to this multi-access meeting. TK Smith and Deborah Kelly have some Paul Harris recognitions.
Well, it should be no surprise to anyone in this room that we're going to stay with this theme of Rotary doing good in the world. So you've seen this slide before, and you're likely to see it again. This time, I want to kind of focus on one of our areas of emphasis, and that's education and literacy. And am I doing the slides, or are you, Fred? Okay, the next slide, please. In the Rotary year ending last June 30th, 2021, there were 2,066 global grants, as you see here, for $130 million. Now remember, global grants are the larger ones. They're at least $250,000 and up from there. But of those, $130 million, you can see that roughly 10% went to education and literacy. And you can, I think, fully appreciate why education and literacy is so important, and particularly education of women. For the history of humans, we have neglected women, and as most of you know, Rotary neglected women until we were forced to take women in as members. So the world is also recognizing the need to educate women, and there are hundreds of studies, if not thousands, that say everybody is better off with women educated, and sometimes even women as presidents of these clubs. My wife was the president of the Boulder Valley, and I have a female member who was a president. So I applaud that, and I think it's been one of Rotary's really important efforts, and it's ongoing. Next, I want to talk a little bit about the Paul Harris Society, which I don't know that we've ever talked about it in here, and I don't recall. But the Paul Harris Society is people who contribute $1,000 every year. And as you know, we talk about Paul Harris Fellows, where it's a cumulative 1,000. So these are people who commit and do contribute $1,000, and they can do it to the annual fund, polio, etc. And I'm going to show you in a second who those members are in our club. But next, I want to have you see this slide on the relative importance of Paul Harris Society donations. It's almost half of the money that goes into the annual fund every year. Should be a little bit more to this slide, I think. Thank you. That's pretty tricky the way you do that. Anyway, the Paul Harris Society has been around a long time, doesn't get very much recognition, and so that was encouraged by one of the members in this room that we should do that. So the next slide shows you who those Paul Harris Society members are. There are 12 names on this slide. 6 of these people are current active members. 2 of the people on this slide, some of the longer serving Rotarians will recognize these folks are deceased. Some within the last 2 or 3 years and some further back. 4 of the people on this slide were members, resigned, moved away, whatever. But I thought these people need to be recognized for their willingness to contribute $1,000 a year. That's a pretty significant commitment. So I applaud those, and hopefully you will join me in thanking those folks. So let's go to the next slide in Paul Harris recognition. Again, remember, it's a cumulative of $1,000, which can happen over a month, a year, 10 years, whatever works for each individual. And it's can be a combination of your personal giving, and as you know, Michael Weatherwax has matched with points to help people get to the next level of Paul Harris recognition. And you can actually make a contribution in somebody else's name. They don't have to be a member of Rotary. It could be a family member. It can be anybody that you want to recognize with a Paul Harris pin. You contribute $1,000. So the next slide shows you the members today that we want to recognize and for whom we have pins. I know Cinda said she would not be here. It should be Cinda, not Cindy. Apologize for that. And at the bottom, it's Tom Steers, not with an S, and that's my mistake. But I don't think, but maybe Hank Lopez is the only guy that's in the room today to step up and get his pin. I've heard from several others who are traveling and far away. But I want to congratulate and thank them for contributing to the next $1,000 in their Paul Harris pins.
Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you, Hank. Next, I want to close with a video that gives you a little more shape of the education and the role of women in the world and how Rotary is helping to support that. While that's coming up, there are 750 million people who are illiterate.
सानसानाहरूलाई सबैलाई म जस्तै गरी
स्कुलमा पठाएर ऊ जस्तै अब हुन्छ नि बाहिर बाहिरको ब्याकग्राउन्ड जस्तो छ उनीहरू अनएजुकेटेड भएपछि आफू जस्तो चाहिँ उस्तै बनाउनु
मौनीको चाहिँ 15 वर्षको मलाई पाइसकेको है म 7 वर्ष हुँदाखेरि खस्नु भयो जब बुवा खस्नु भयो त्यहाँबाट धेरै एकदम पीडा हुने सिङ्गो बगेर कति समय दुःख हुन्छ
Okay, that would be great. Okay, you come here, then we'll go together from here. Okay. A lot of women come from different suffering and the backgrounds. A lot of women mention that since they get inside the gate of Saving Women and they feel very peaceful. I feel the same.
7 Women began 12 years ago when I met 7 disabled women in the back streets of Kathmandu who were operating out of a tin shed. These women were heavily stigmatised by their community because of their physical appearance.
यस्तो अब आफू एक त डिसेबल हो अब यहाँ भनेको जस्तो भने अब डिसेबल र एबलमा त धेरै फरक छ हैन अब मैले यहाँ नगएको भए त म मेरो अलिकति उ चाहिँ आर्थिक स्तरले अलिक कमै हुँदै हुन्थ्यो होला
People need to be empowered through being educated and have their basic needs covered.
So our main 3 program is focusing on skill training, employment opportunity, and education.
अनि जब अनि सुरुमा जब अनिता म्याम आउनुभयो उहाँले मलाई अपर्च्युनिटी दिनुभयो अब अपर्च्युनिटी पनि लिटरेसी टिचर बन्न चाहन्छौ भन्नु त्यस अनि मैले चाहिँ हुन्छ किन नभन्ने
It gives a lot of confidence in women when they start to become self-sustainable so they don't have to depend on their husband or family to survive. मैले यसरी अहिले यो सेलुनमा आएर अनि गाउँमा गएर हेल्प गर्नु परेछ मात्रै अहिले उदाहरण बन्यो अनि अहिले छोरीछोरीलाई पनि पढ्नु पर्छ
This is what empowers them, uplifts them, makes them leaders in their community. Women are inclusive. Once they learn, earn, they want to share those skills with other women, and that's why we've seen such an amazing ripple effect.
I don't think there's much more to say about, we all know and appreciate in this country how, generally speaking, we give women full opportunity, full education. Took us a long time to get women to vote. That's a whole nother story, but we're there, and hopefully we can be a model for many other places, and certainly Rotary helps make that possible. So thank you all for your contributions to the Rotary Foundation.
Thanks, everyone, for their generosity for the Rotary Foundation. As everyone remembers, on December the 30th, we had a horrific event here, and I remember the first Friday we came back to the JCC in the new year. There was an overwhelming amount of support for fire victims and for fire prevention initiatives. Marlene has taken the lead on that, and I'm going to let her introduce a very special program that we're going to be starting.
Well, I hope everybody can get excited about this and join the project because we need people to help. But in January, Cynthia Latham of Evergreen Rotary came and talked to us about our Rotary Wildfire Ready program. And I looked at that program and I thought, oh my God, what a great opportunity for Rotary to get out and talk to people, teach people, have education. And so I came up with this idea and I talked to Chad and he pointed me towards the Preserve Planet Earth Committee. And so we decided to create a project. And so there's a couple slides. But I thought, how many of us are actually ready for an emergency? How many of us actually know what to do? And so next slide. You know, back one. You can't go back? Okay. Did you get an emergency alert on your text phone? Are you signed up for alerts? Are you signed up for reverse 911? Do you know what to do? Do you know how to leave your house? Do you turn the water on, turn it off? Do you turn the sprinkler system on if it's a fire? What's it going to do to the firefighters? You know, what do you take with you? Where do you go? Do you have an exit plan? And so many people on, okay, go to the fire. Here's, you know, what do you know how to do? But then, like Chad said, on December 30th, so many families had to make split-second decisions. And did they know the answers to these questions? You can do the next slide. And a lot of them didn't. A lot of them had 20 minutes to get out of their house and say goodbye forever. And did they have a checklist? Did they have a meeting location? Did they know what they were going to do? And so I saw this as an opportunity, and so you could do the next slide, that we as Rotarians could go out and educate the public. We could talk about fire safety. We can talk about landscaping ideas to help keep your house safe. We can talk about the checklist. And Evergreen Rotary has done an incredible job. All the stuff is on their website. And so we have a great place to start. And we've, Gary brought up today going to Homeowners Association and talking with them about how to trim the trees around their locations. We can talk to scouting troops and talk to the kids about what they need to know to be Rotary ready. So we're starting a project called Rotary Emergency Ready. And Chad was so excited about this. Next slide. He created a logo. So we actually are launching a logo for this project. And so I'm here to look for volunteers. There will be a notice in the rib on how to contact me, and we hope to get our first meeting going, and we hope to get this project underway. Thanks.
Thank you, Marlene, and thank you to the subcommittee of the PPE committee. That's where this is going to reside. This is going to be an opportunity to really provide an impact in ways that a lot of people are talking about right now. So thank you for all your hard work on that. Thank you, Nick and Helen. As you mentioned, music is a fabric of life, and you guys are a fabric of our community, so thanks for putting those together and, as Bill said, making a warm blanket. Speaking of Bill Anderson and Lori Preston, can we please come up and do a blue badge transition?
So I always miss Susan Connolly for many reasons when she's not here, but especially because she's usually kind enough to print out the things in larger, and as I get older, it's harder to see the things that are written here when they're on my phone, but I'll try to muddle my way through. So first, today we're going to celebrate Lori Preston transitioning from red badge to blue badge. I want to thank Gary Kahn and Nancy Geyer for sponsoring Lori and bringing her to our club. As many of you remember, Lori serves as the CEO of the Museum of Boulder. Lori's originally from Kansas, but has lived in the Boulder area off and on since 1981. Lori is a lifelong learner, having completed postgraduate institute work at Harvard's Graduate School of Educational Leadership, in addition to her master's in mid-management and educational leadership. She has served early learners through college students as an adjunct professor and inner-city school educator in Denver and Houston. She's led as a teacher, director, principal, and assistant superintendent of public and charter schools, and as the head of school and CEO of 2 independent schools prior to her current role at the Museum of Boulder. Her community service has included serving as a board member and volunteer for various nonprofit organizations, including E-Town. Lori is a proud and dedicated mother of a University of Denver student. She enjoys photography, tennis, art, and extensive world travel. Her love of Colorado and Boulder is deep, making it a natural for her to invite community members into the museum to learn, listen, engage, gather, and become a part of Boulder's fascinating stories. Lori spoke to the club last August about the past, present, and future of Boulder's history and the work BRC is doing with the museum to incorporate the Infinite Walk of Peace into the work of the museum. She then hosted club members for a wonderful happy hour on the museum's rooftop deck. We will look forward to gathering with Lori on Fridays and hopefully again soon on the rooftop of the Boulder Museum. Please welcome Lori Preston.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Lori. That was by far one of my favorite moments of the year, was the rooftop happy hour. That was a lot of fun, and hopefully we can do that again soon. With E-Town, of course. That was a given. That was a given. Fred, can we go to the videotape?
Did you know the membership committee is one of Boulder Rotary Club's most fun, most important committees for our BRC community? Some of our best ideas come from that committee. Things like getting on Zoom several years before the pandemic. Thanks, Gary. Making sure our meetings are fun. Doing things like this brew announcement or making a cookbook from meals we talked about at a Red Badge meeting. It's all about our members, and I hope you'll check it out. You can talk to Ben Zialo or Jean Schlosslin. Their emails are on the screen now.
Okay, this week's Rotarian on the Street is with member Bill Anderson. Okay, so Bill Anderson.
Yes.
If a grizzly bear and a gorilla were to fight, who would win and why?
Grizzly bear, no question.
Why?
Look, claws. You got the claws.
Yes, but a gorilla is really smart. It could use tools and implements and is, pretty strong, big muscles.
Grizzly bear, claw.
Okay, you heard it. Rotarian on the Street. Thank you, Bill Anderson.
Thanks.
Just a quick reminder, next Thursday, March 10th, District 5450 is having their 14th annual State of the State Luncheon at the Hyatt Regency in the Denver Tech Center. You can also attend the Mental Health Symposium from 8:30 to 11:30 that same morning. At the lunch, their keynote speaker will be Olympic swimmer Missy Franklin, and Governor Polis will also speak. You can register at the District 5450 website, and if you need a ride or have other questions, contact Hans Wick or Gary Kahn. The District 5450 District Conference is coming April 29th and 30th. It's going to be live and in person, woohoo, at the hangar at Stanley Marketplace in Aurora. This year's theme is Empowering Youth. It's going to be a lot of fun, and if you want to go, you need to register soon. Go to the District 5450 website, which should be up on the screen now. Additionally, remember that we can showcase our club's project at the House of Friendship, but you need to act fast to reserve part of a table. All you need to do is request that through the District 5450 website. March is Women's History Month. Tuesday, March 8th is International Women's Day. To celebrate, our program next week is Lauren Young Castile, the president and CEO of the Women's Foundation of Colorado. She's going to talk about symbols to substance, investing in women's leadership. The fund does a lot in Colorado, helping families during the pandemic, implementing new laws, and bringing equitable opportunities to working women. I hope you'll see us next week. You know how to say it. Have
a great weekend.
Dr. George Russell, do we have any birthdays?
Hello.
We don't have any birthdays, but I do have a story about this woman. She dies and goes to heaven, and at the pearly gates meets St. Peter. And he says, well, she said, can I get in? He said, well, you have to be able to spell. And she said, well, I can spell. He said, what do you want me to spell? He says, love. And so she goes L-O-V-E. He says, come right on in. But by the way, would you mind minding the gate for me while I'm got some other things I got to do? Well, about that time, her ex-husband comes. And he says, can I get into heaven? She says, well, you have to spell a word. He says, what do I have to spell? And she said, Czechoslovakia. So anyway, be sure and sit at the birthday table on your birthday or close to it.
That's 2 Czech jokes in a row. Thank you, everyone. The credits for today, thank you, Lori and Deborah, for meeting us at the door. Thanks to Judy and Marcia for manning the desk. Thanks to Valerie for handling the raffle promotion. And thanks to Lynn, Cassidy, Vanessa, and Fred for meeting management. I also want to make sure, talk to Marlene if you want to join the Rotary Emergency Readiness Committee. And thanks to Nick and Helen for sharing your story today. Meeting adjourned.